Great, hello there guys. If anybody is watching right now, a little bit early here, but this is the final week of the We're here with the final tonight. We've got two streams going. On the first stream you'll have myself, Shadow and Munchables casting. And we'll be having the two games from the finals. We'll have the semi-final between KVGS and Birmingham. And over on stream 2 you will be having Cardiff against Manchester. Then after that we'll be having the final on stream 1 and we'll be having one of the playoff matches on stream 2. But we're going to be here for a little bit now just to have a little talk about the teams, about the patch and stuff. I'm here with the guys. If everyone wants to introduce themselves, how is everyone?
Good, thanks. I'm Soddit here, or also known as Stephen.
I'm doing good. My name's Osiglis, also known as Jackson.
Sweet. And we do have Munch here, but his mic seems to be on mute at the minute, so everyone excited for tonight?
He said in the team speak that he will start as close to 6:45 as we can. So I guess we'll just wing it till he gets here.
That's fair enough. So are you on the stream 2 at the moment? Okay. Okay, so we'll just talk on this one for a bit until the first stream goes live, and then we'll have probably just do the introduction again for stream 1. But how's everyone feeling for tonight?
Pumped!
Feeling good, and I'm excited to see that now that the kind of the 3.14 patch has been out for a while, that kind of people don't really have an excuse to say, oh, it's new, I'm not used to the new meta. It's like, well, you've had kind of 2 weeks now, you should be on top of things.
It'll be interesting to see if they still are doing some of the crazy strategies we saw last week, or if they've settled into like more less crazy strategies, less 2-1-2 Jarvan like hybrid jungle support stuff. If any of you guys saw the like 80 kill game we had on stream 2 last week.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was kind of sick. I think it was, we had a Jarvan kind of semi jungle, semi top lane go like 21, 1, and like 6 and like 20 or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
25 with assists or something. It was really ridiculous.
Yeah, obviously last week as well we had we had the double relic shield start from a lot of people. Obviously that's had a few nerfs. We'll be expecting slightly different starts from a lot of people as well.
Yeah,
which is obviously good.
I mean, you can still get the bonus gold if you're a range support, but you don't get the execute, so last hitting when you're not building any AD on a range guy is just, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a number of games where kind of people haven't realised that there's been a change, and kind of supports be going, what the hell? I'm last hitting, but I'm not getting the executes, and they just end up like stealing like creeps and stuff, or just like the enemy creeps will kind of take the kill away. And it's like, yeah, you can't execute the creeps anymore. It doesn't work like that. Which is a shame in my opinion, because I play support mainly, but it was for the best.
Yeah. In a way, it's still quite annoying though. I don't think it's the best start for the range champions. Obviously, you don't build any AD, and a lot of the base ratios for the range champions isn't too great for auto attacking. So they don't seem to be getting as much gold as they can. I mean, I've really liked the IP item myself, and especially on champions like Annie, the Sona, Fiddle. The IP item that gives you the gold when you hit the enemy champions has been really great.
Yeah, I have to say it's interesting. In my experience in solo queue in the last few days, before the hotfix, most of the time my supports wouldn't really use the relic shield anyway. They'd just be sitting there. I'd be like, you got 2 charges, bro, get me some gold. And they'd just be ignoring me. They'd finish the game when the gold shared thing would be like 100. So obviously that wouldn't happen with these good players, but it's not necessarily the biggest change in solo queue that it's got nerfed.
I've had the opposite. See, as a support, I've had AD carries just like not let me last hit at all. They're just like, no, I'm gonna take all of this, and then if I do get a last hit, they're like, what the hell? Why are you stealing my CS for? I'm just like, oh god, just face palming on the other side of the screen. But no. So in the next 2 minutes, we should be going live to stream 1. So we will have the introduction again, just then. But obviously, for those looking on stream 2 now, just wanted a little chat just beforehand. So obviously you two are going to be casting the first game between Cardiff and Manchester. Manchester won the last one. They finished second in their league, but they're still very strong, and they're going up against Cardiff, who won Group B of the Super 8. So how do you feel? How are you guys thinking about that game?
Manchester always strong, but Cardiff had some like good games last week, and if they up their practice regimen since then, I don't think it's out of place to say that they could potentially take it. You know.
I mean, I personally think that Manchester, just kind of the League of Legends scene in Manchester, is so much stronger and kind of has a greater depth there that I think Manchester has a greater opportunity to practice against kind of their B team and their C team, and their B team and C team are still relatively strong, whereas Cardiff, kind of the Cardiff B team and the C team, which I was formerly a part of, they're not necessarily stronger, so Cardiff just has to practice against, you know, other random ranked 5v5s that they're just practicing kind of in solo queue.
Well, I mean, there's obviously the chance that they might have arranged scrims between other Super 8 teams. You know, you could see a lot of the other Super 8 teams kind of banding together to take down the Manchester Giant.
That is true. I mean, with Cardiff as well, talking about kind of unconventional picks, I've seen Cardiff A in a number of matches, and they have the kind of, they do, I think like a lot of the professional teams, they do have one or two unorthodox strategies which they can pull out of the bag when they need to, but I think they only do that kind of as a desperation play where they feel more comfortable just going along with the standard meta. I mean, when they were playing at Best of the Southwest, where they came second during their first match, which was against a weaker team.
I'm just going to throw a wrench in the works here, sorry guys. I think the first stream's going live in about 10 seconds, so we'll just stop here for now. We'll resume all of this once we've done the introduction.
Okay.
But very shortly we will be starting to do the introduction for the first streams. Bear with us. But until then, it's all excitement from here.
Pumped.
I am, really am, man.
The counter's going.
Okay, so that should be us now. I believe music should stop. So hello viewers, welcome. This is the New here. We're on our last week. This is the finals tonight. I'm Shadow. I'm joined tonight by Munchballs, Asigulus and Sodit. And we're here to cast these games for you. We're going to have 2 streams running. You're going to have stream 1, and on that we're going to have the first semi-final between KVGS and Birmingham. And on the second stream you're going to have Manchester versus Cardiff. These will be best of 3 games, so after these are finished, when we have the 2 finalists, we're going to have the final on the first stream. On the second stream will be a match from the Super 8 promotional player. So this is very, very big night for everyone. How is everyone? Are you all okay?
Well, doing good, thanks.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm tired, but I'm pumped. I only woke up an hour ago.
Oh, well.
So it's gonna kind of, by the time we get kind of the fifth match of the evening, you're gonna be really on form by then.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, nothing but organisation here, obviously, as usual. So, other than that, how are you guys feeling about tonight's games? You all excited?
I'm really excited, yeah. I can't wait to see the final and see who wins our season. It's going to be exciting.
Definitely. Huge night. Not just for the Super 8 teams, but obviously we have got the playoffs as well. So the Division 2 teams that have finished top will get the chance to come into this Super 8. And we will be seeing new teams for the next tournament. But let's talk about the 4 teams that are in the semi-finals at the moment. We've got KVGS Kittens, we've got Birmingham Uni, we've got Cardiff, and we've got Manchester. The 2 top, we had Group A and Group B. Cardiff were the winners of Group B, and KVGS were the winners of Group A. Now, Manchester won the last tournament, but they finished second in their leagues. There, any thoughts about that? Any surprises there? From anyone? No? Yes?
Sorry, just answering a question from one of the teams, because we're in the lobby now.
Oh, fair enough. Well, obviously Manchester winning it last tournament and then finishing second in their division to KVGS Kittens, who were a new team coming into this, was very surprising for most people. They didn't just clinch it, they were very, very dominating in some of their games. We saw a game last week with 85 kills in by by KVGS Kittens, sorry about that, and they were dominant.
Yeah, that was a pretty disgusting game.
That was a strong game, and I mean, I think one of the factors that made it so dominant is that they did have an unconventional strategy of having a kind of a Jarvan and Pantheon top lane, kind of a dunk squad up there, where Jarvan would occasionally go into the jungle just to get the buffs, and then would return straight to lane and just would bully that lane out. And he ended up going, I think we're discussing, 25-1, and God knows how many assists he got as well. It was just such a strong showing by KVGS that I think it would be wrong to kind of. I think you've got to think that they're going to be kind of favourites in their first match.
Definitely. And who would you say was the favourites between the Manchester-Cardiff game? I'd have to say Manchester just because they won last tournament and because of how dominant they've been, but we've seen great play from Cardiff as well, all this tournament long.
I think definitely favourites would be Manchester, but it's not a hugely, impossible game for Cardiff to win. As I was saying before in our previous introduction, like, Cardiff might have been, practicing up against some of the other Super 8 teams because they all want to band together and take down Manchester, so they could have upped their game from last week by a lot and be ready to go.
Definitely. So, I think in the first stream for our first semi-final, we have actually got all of the players in, so we may be ready to start. Are you guys ready to go on your games yet, or?
We're close to being ready, but we can split off and do our own talk if you want to do that.
That's fine, yeah. So you guys head over to Stream 2. If anyone wants to catch any of the Stream 2 games, they will be there at twitch.tv/thenewel2. But other than that, we will shortly be jumping into this game for KVGS Kittens versus Birmingham. So farewell to the other casters, and Munch, how are you feeling?
Channel switched.
Alright, so...
Hello and welcome to the second stream of the New LoL for our first game of the day, which is Manchester versus Cardiff.
Yeah, it's going to be a best of 3 as well, in case that wasn't clear. So I'd be interested to see if someone runs like a cheese strategy game 2 to try and snipe a victory or something. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they always say kind of in the professional scene, the best of 3s when you have the best of 5s at the end of a tournament. They're always much more intriguing and in depth, because best of 1 you feel kind of a bit kind of scared possibly to kind of throw out a kind of a cheese or an unconventional strategy when it's a best of 1. Whereas when you've got kind of at least 2 games that you're going to play, you can just kind of test the waters with your first one. If you get lucky with the cheese strategy in your first game, you think, oh, that's fine, then we can do whatever we want in the second game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a good comparison is if you look at like the StarCraft 2 pro scene, cheese gets used much more in that game because it's always best of 3s because the games are a lot shorter. Mm-hmm. So, it'd be interesting if we see this end up like that somewhat.
I mean, I think with Manchester possibly being the favourites, kind of amongst the majority of the population, I think Cardiff, because of that fact, Cardiff are more likely to kind of to have an unconventional pick, and it'll be interesting to see whether they just have kind of the one unconventional kind of champion choice, if they choose like a Zillion support lane or maybe a Zillion middle or what have you, or if they go for a completely kind of a real strange composition that Manchester might not have come up against, because that might just throw Manchester for a loop.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing, assuming Cardiff went back and watched some of the other games from last week, after seeing the 2-1-2 thing with the Jarvan, maybe they'll think to themselves, I like me some of that 21, 25 assists Jarvan. I want to get some of that on my team.
Certainly, I mean, I think that match. It was the interesting thing with that match with the KVGS Kittens, with them being such a strong performance. Was kind of one of the interesting facts was it was such an AD kind of heavy laden team. Kind of you had the AD carry, you had kind of an AD jungler and an AD top, and I can't remember what their support was, but I think it was kind of an AD. It was like a can't remember. It was like a Thresh or something that wasn't necessarily kind of a traditional AP type support. Yeah. So they had essentially 4 AD champions on their team, and they still steamrolled it. So I think I don't know. I haven't seen too many other games like that, but kind of the potential to load your team heavily one side on AP or AD is a possibility now, whereas previously you always used to have kind of 3 AD and 2 AP, or vice versa, that sort of similar composition.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, potentially one of the reasons why that game was so chaotic was that the level 1 fight lasted like 6 minutes and there was like 7 kills, so it didn't start off too much like a normal game.
No, it was rare to have kind of a large 5-on-5 team fight. It's kind of a 2v1, and then someone else would come in and pick up kind of the original 2, and then another person would come in and be like an extended team fight over about kind of 2 or 3 minutes, which is why I think the kill count was so high in that game.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, should we talk about kind of what sort of champions we're expecting for the teams to pick out in this game? I know on the Cardiff team that Ovidius, the captain Andy, he's been playing a fair bit of Syndra recently. I know he's had some personal issues dealing with Syndra over some games where I've seen him streaming. I think in terms of what the teams are likely to ban out, which of course dictates what they're going to pick, I think unless the teams have been really sneaky in their scouting of the other, I think we'll just see the standard bans, which you've seen since 3.14, which will be kind of the Nasus, the Kassadin, kind of potentially a Thresh, maybe an Aatrox, kind of those sort of standard ones. And they might have one or two targeted bans, but I don't see that being particularly likely.
Yeah, we're getting rage in the lobby because you revealed his secret plot. Yeah, but in terms of picks in general, like without going too deep into what I think the players themselves are, partial to, I think there's a lot of champions who have been revealed themselves as being really strong after the patch. Evelynn jungle is absolutely beastly right now. Nasus has been winning a lot. I think Taric as a support is up like 4% in win rate, which is pretty astronomical. Like that's across all brackets, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of just patch-related strength changes.
I mean, I think essentially kind of what the 3.14 patch has done is that if you compare it to, I don't know, like a sport like rugby, kind of they've changed the shape of the pitch and they've changed the shape of the ball as well. Like most of the rules, all the main rules are still there, but kind of the bushes are now different and kind of the items are slightly different in the way that people play. But it's essentially the same, but they've just introduced so many different features that you've now got to completely redesign how you play the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think definitely the biggest innovation we've seen is the 2-1-2, and I'm hoping we see that a few times today because I do think it's really cool. But with the Relic Shield nerf, it's potentially a bit weaker unless you're running a double bruiser thing where you can get the execute proc.
True. I mean, I think with the kind of the Relic Shield nerf it's certainly been a large nerf in the lower brackets and the lesser skilled players, because obviously it kind of previously it was just really easy to just get the execute when the minion is at 200 HP, whereas now if you have good communication between your AD and support, it's still just as effective, but you've just got to have kind of really, really good communication to understand when your support is going to last hit on a minion to get that proc on the extra gold.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one person who really doesn't care right now is Taric, because he's just really strong, and also the Relic Shield, you still get the execute on melee heroes, so it'll be interesting if we see... I think we're gonna see a Taric. I'm like 90% sure.
I put a large amount of money on us seeing a Taric somewhere in the evening. Whether we'll see it in this first game or not, still less to be seen.
I feel like just because it's so strong, we're gonna see it. But it could be a comp-related decision, so maybe not. We'll have to see.
Well, I mean, as you're saying about Taric picks, I mean, I'm just having a quick cheeky look at the first stream. One of the teams there has picked a Taric in their first choice, so Taric is obviously one of the strong possibilities that we'll see in this game. Maybe you were right in the first place.
I think we're starting in a second. Yep, here we go.
There you go. So let's see what the teams are willing to